What's up, bosses? Welcome back to the hottest show on the internet. As you can see, we made it back safe and sound from our awesome trip to the Gear Jammer Magazine Truck Show. So let's dive right into today's juicy stories. First up, we have Brad taking a deeper look into the current diesel fuel prices. Then we head back up to New Hampshire for the Gear Jammer Truck Show highlights. And last, Matt and Joey take over the Truck Boss studio. Jason, take it away. Have you ever wondered what really causes fuel prices to fluctuate? This next segment might surprise you. Check out our first part of a three-part series on diesel fuel prices with our guy Brad.
Fuel prices have been through the roof lately. A gallon of diesel at the pump today costs more than $3. That's up almost 80% from a low of $1.87 in April of last year. Thanks, Joe Biden, right? Well, maybe not. Joe Biden is no friend of the oil industry. In only his first month of office, he halted construction of the XL pipeline, he issued a moratorium on new oil and gas leases on federal lands, and he antagonized one of the world's dominant oil producers by publishing a previously classified report blaming Saudi Arabian leader Mohammed bin Salman for the murder of American journalist Jamal Khashoggi. But as it turns out, Biden and his policies, whatever you think of them, have very little, if anything, to do with what you're paying for diesel right now at the pump. There's a lot of misinformation and even more misunderstanding about what does and doesn't affect fuel prices. So now seemed like a pretty good time to take a deep dive into what really affects fuel prices. In this episode, we'll be looking at fuel prices over the past few years and break out the major elements that go into determining the price you pay at the pump. Let's start with a little context. Looking at diesel prices over the last 5 years, you can see that prices have been hovering just under $3 for most of that time. If you were to look back even further, $3 a gallon plus or minus has been the benchmark for diesel for more than 15 years. And while it's tempting to look at who was president when prices were high and when they were low and assign credit or blame, the fact is that fuel prices rise when the global economy is booming and fall during economic downturns. It's supply and demand. And if you look at what the economy was doing instead of who was president, you're going to be able to budget better going forward. I think we can all look back at 2020 and say with some certainty that diesel prices weren't low because of some politician. They were low because of the global pandemic. And while they're higher now, they're really closer to normal, and I'd point out that freight rates during that same period have increased even more, touching off an avalanche of new applications for operating authorities. But that's a story for another day. The price of diesel is based on the market price of oil, and the market price of oil is determined, on paper at least, by the buyers and sellers of oil futures on the New York Mercantile Exchange, or NYMEX. This price is determined by the current supply of crude oil worldwide and the demand for that oil at refineries. An oil futures contract is 1,000 barrels with guaranteed delivery on a certain date. Anyone holding a mature contract must be prepared to accept delivery in actual barrels of oil, which is why the market price of oil will drop in times of slow demand, when refineries reduce production capacity and investors are forced to unload their contracts for whatever they can get, to avoid having to actually have the oil tanker pull into the port of New York and New Jersey with their name on the invoice. In 2020, when the global economy went into lockdown, there was a brief period of time when traders had to pay refiners to take oil contracts off their hands. Refiners still had to be paid for refining the fuel, and there was still a cost for marketing and distribution, including what the retailers make, which is typically only pennies per gallon. And then there were federal, state, and local taxes to be paid, but all of these other expenses collectively account for only about half of the regular pump price. So when diesel was selling briefly for less than $2 a gallon, it's safe to assume that that really represents the rock bottom for fuel prices back when the cost of a barrel was $0 or less. Conversely, prices right now may be exceptionally high, with both refineries and distribution networks scrambling to meet rapidly growing demand in a post-quarantine economy. This is a super simplified overview to maybe hopefully paint the big picture of how this process works and why political actions that might affect future demand are really not why there have been increases at the pump. In our next segment, we're going to talk to John Kingston, editor-at-large and oil futures expert at FreightWaves, who will explain how all this works in more detail. For the Truck Boss Show, I'm Brad Kuhn, and I'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Brad. And make sure to stay tuned over the next couple of weeks to stay up to date on all of those fuel prices. Brittany, what do you have on your end?
Thanks, Nikki. Well, we are fresh off of our trip from the 4th annual Gear Jammer Magazine Truck Show, and boy, did we see not only amazing trucks, but talk to great people, and we had the best time. Check out these highlights from the show that everyone wanted to be at.
Nestled in between the rolling forest, green mountains, and peaceful lakes, the 4th annual Gear Jammer Magazine Truck Show, held in Winchester, New Hampshire at the Monadnock Speedway, brought in over 200 trucks, much to the pleasure of the attendees. All proceeds from the show went to the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism, and showgoers were treated to a concert Friday night that featured the Doug Flutie Band and Doug Flutie himself covering many classic favorite songs. The Friday night concert also included the one and only Tony Justice singing his greatest hits, while folks danced the night away in the midst of the Lights On for Autism Truck Light Show, where all the trucks were judged on their light game. Saturday was the big day, where the trucks were judged for show and shine, and the day featured a fan favorite, the truck pulls. The big rigs lined up to see if they could pull the 35,000-pound sled from one end of the sand track to the other. There are 2 divisions of trucks in the truck pulls to see who could get the furthest to claim the trophy and, most importantly, the bragging rights. But of course, the trucks were the highlight of the weekend. So many beauty trucks. Antique, unique, and ultra customized, there's a story behind each one of these trucks, one of pride and one of honor. This is what makes our industry so great.
We are going to have more stories for you from the show in the next coming months, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Nikki, back to you.
Well, we all know that Matt and Joey are always up to something. This week, they take over the Truck Boss studio. Check it out.
All right, yeah. Just sit over there in that chair over there. On this one over here? Nah, do the other one. Jesus, Joey, come on, man. Gotta hurry this up. Yeah, there you go. Get ready. On the set. Action. What's going on, everybody? Little guy with the Truck Boss Show here. We are... Cut. Nah, bro. Do it again, bro. Come on, Joey. That was perfect. You didn't even let me finish. Do you even know what you're doing up there? I mean, I don't even know if you're supposed to be touching that stuff, Joey. Oh, man. Listen, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm the director. You're the crazy anchor guy. You do what I tell you. When I say cut, you cut. When I say action, you do action. Okay? Whatever. Let's just get this done. Come on, man. It's hot in here. That's good. Get ready. Okay, quiet on the set. And action. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Little Guy here at the Truck Wash Show, and today we are going to not cut. Everybody, this is a wrap. It's all wrong. It's all wrong, dude. It's all wrong. You're cutting me off again. Can somebody please get this guy? I mean, what's going on here? Like I said, I'm running the show. You see this? This is me. This is me. This is me today. This is me. You don't like it? You don't like it? Tough, bro. You know what? Forget this. Joey, you know what? Find somebody else. I'm out of here, bro. Forget it. No, come back, bro. Come on, I was just playing. Come back, come on. Bro, come back. Oh, my God. Bro, such a baby. I know, you want to play games. You got it. I'm going to be in my dressing room. See you later. Unbelievable, bro. Can we get somebody else on the in the chair, please? We can finish this segment. Cameras are running out of batteries here.
Oh my goodness, Matt and Joey, they're so funny.
They're always making fun of us, I feel like. Matt. Oh.
Yeah, but they had a good time, and that was a pretty funny
They did.
segment. So I'll give it to you, Matt and Joey. That was pretty funny.
We'll invite you back for more, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe in the future sometime.
Yeah, that was a good time. So Brittany, let them know what we have going on next week.
Next week, we are sharing a wonderful story, Trucking for Dad's Memory. It is a great story about a man who has redone his whole rig in honor of his dad. You guys are going to love that story. We're also checking in with Matt on the street again, because who knows what he's going to tell us again. And we are also talking about the used truck shortage. We check in with Brad. He's going to give us an update on that.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting.
It is. And it's very interesting.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It was a good segment, and so make sure you guys tune in next week for that good one. And we have the winner of the Monadnock Speedway. We did a little Boss Box giveaway up there, and all they had to do was DM us the Monadnock Speedway to be entered to win that, and the winner is Carolyn Ventura. So congrats, Carolyn, and make sure you DM us your information so we can get that Boss Box sent out to you, and we're really excited to send that to you. And thanks to everybody who joined in and was a part of that giveaway. That was really fun.
So much fun at the Tony Justice concert, which was so fun. Such a good time. Thank you guys for all of your, we got to know so many people out there.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. It was
Such a good time.
Yes, and if you missed anything from that, make sure you check out our Facebook page from over the weekend to catch all the action, because we covered it right there on the Speedway.
We did.
Yes.
And don't forget to check out the newest Boss Cast with Matt. He is keeping it real for nearly a decade behind the wheel, and it was such a good conversation.
Oh, it really was. I learned a lot from him actually during that conversation. So.
Like good advice for new entrants, like his whole history, how he got the name The Little Guy.
Yep.
So fun. Be sure to check that out.
Well, folks, if you're eastbound and down, you want to tune in for this update.
Yes, we have an update on a bridge that we've reported several times. It's now partially open. Such good news, Nikki.
Yes.
Last May, we reported on the I-40 Memphis Bridge over the Mississippi. It was closed for repairs. This caused massive delays for truckers having to reroute. Well, the good news is eastbound is now open. It's great news. The westbound lanes will follow soon, and we will keep you posted when that happens.
Yes, that's right, Brittany. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things trucking right here on the Truck Boss Show. So, Brittany, why do we do this?
Because you're the boss.